I have always had this thing that the first thing you have to do in your business is to be able to write an impact message or a brand positioning statement. Something that tells people what you do for them. Now, let me give you an example. I walk up to this lady over here. I say, "Hi, my name is Mike Said."
Hi, my name is Patience.
See, she gives me a really nice smile. And in the back of her head, she says to herself, "So what?" And I say to her, "But, you know, Patience, my company is called Brand Strategy." And she smiles back at me politely and she says, "So what?" And then I say, "But I've got 500 customers all over the world who can't wait to do business with me." And she smiles and she says, "So what?" And then I'll say to her, "If you just give me 15 minutes of your time, let me sit down next to you, I can turn your whole business around for you and make you money." And she says, "Please sit down." You see, it was only when I told her what I would do for her, not what I could do for myself, not who I am, why I'm so important. That's why it amazes me when I go onto a website and the opening line is just how fantastic the company is. I don't care. I just want to know what you can do for me. So how do you write the statement? First of all, you take a piece of paper. On the top of the piece of paper, you simply write the words "to." And there you describe your target market. And you describe your target market in as much detail as possible. Now, if you are like me, like most entrepreneurs, and I say to you, "Who's your target market?" Bless you, ma'am. You're going to say, "Everybody." And I'm going to say, "Well, first of all, don't you mean everybody with money?" Ah, okay. And then don't you mean everyone with money who can reach you? And so we start breaking it down till eventually you understand that your target market is something very specific. Now, Spur, bless their hearts, understand their target market 100%. The perfect table at Spur is parents, 2 children, and 1 set of grandparents. But Spur understand their target market so brilliantly. That's why they market so well to them. You go to their website and the toys. If we all had that understanding of our target market like they did, we'd all be making a lot more money. So that's number 1. 2. Second of all, we write down what it is that they are looking for, not what we offer, what it is that they're looking for. There is a woman out there with a problem that keeps her awake all night. And I know if I could solve that problem, I would make a lot of money. There's money to be made in solving other people's problems. Then we write down exactly what it is they're seeking, and then we write down what it is that we offer. Then we say, "This is what I offer." Now we know who our target market is, we know exactly what they want, and we know how we are going to give it to them. Once you've got this exercise down, this becomes the basis of everything for you. When you want to do something, go check there. Is it to my target market? Am I offering them? It's a fantastic tool, works unbelievably well. And then exercise number 3, we need to discover what works. We need to test things all the time. You need to get out of your head, you need to unplug yourself from the computer, switch off for your phone for a while, and go out there and be a customer. Be your own customer. Say to yourself, what happens when I go to my own website? Now, those of you that have websites, and then you have a contact page, and I have to press 6 buttons. Then finally I get to the contact page, and I have to fill out that little writing with the squiggles on it, just in the hope that you'll phone me back. By the time I could have done that, I've looked up 4 other sites, and I've contacted 4 other people. Put yourself in the mind of your customer. What happens when they walk into your fish and chip shops? What happens when they walk into your studio? What happens when they walk into your beauty salon? Whatever it is, can you put yourself, have you got the ability to take yourself out of the position as owner? It's called Moments of Truth. Jan Carlson wrote a fantastic book called Moments of Truth. He said if you can work out the 5 one-minute moments of truth in your business and make sure you deliver on them, you can change the whole customer experience of your business for your customers. Another thing I want you to do is I want you to buy yourself a file or a notebook, little black book, anything. Use your phone. Use Evernote if you've got the Evernote app on your BlackBerry or your iPhone. Photograph things, write them down, collect scrappings, anything you can, put them in this file. You find a spreadsheet you like, put in anything you can find, put in your folder, start collecting. That's going to become your kind of Bible and the way you're going to take your idea, not necessarily a new business, your idea in your business to realization by doing that. Collect, 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 that's it. Quote time, don't bring your needs to the marketplace, bring your skills. If you need money, go to the bank, don't go to the marketplace. There's another expression which says, sell your strengths and outsource your weaknesses. If you can't do something, if you're not good at accounts, if you're not good at IT, contact the gentleman over there, he'll help you. Who builds websites? There you are, lady over there waving. Is a gentleman. Sorry, gentleman. A couple of people sitting there. You want a website? Contact them. If you can't do it, they'll do it for you properly. That's how this all works. Let's start to believe. In the belief section, protect your ideas. Stop struggling, and the reality check. Let's starting off with protecting your ideas. Now, we're all very, very, very nervous about this idea. We're sure that we found the one thing that nobody else is going to come up with. But the problem is we need to guard this idea. Now, one of the ways everyone wants you to do it is you run off to the patent office, you go see an attorney, and you file a patent for it. It's an unbelievably difficult thing to do because you have to prove that this thing never existed in any form whatsoever. But there is such a thing as a first use rule. In other words, you can prove that you first used it. You have some protectivity over it. Anybody who knows who invented the radio? They think it's Marconi, but it wasn't. It was a guy named Tesla. It took Tesla 45 years to fight the patent and have Marconi's patent reversed. Meantime, by that time, he was insane and bankrupt. Same as the guy who invented the windscreen wipers, intermittent windscreen wipers. Went completely insane trying to get his money out of Ford. By the time he got a couple of $1 million, there was nothing he could do with it. So don't worry too much about that. What I want you to do is simply start a paper trail. It's simple as that. Use a simple little template, and every time you meet with someone, write things down on that piece of paper. Write down, for example, the date, who it is you met with, what it is you discussed, what was decided upon. If possible, even get them to sign it, so that those people, you can always say, I was the one who presented this idea to these people. Don't sit back and wait, and if you can't afford an attorney, you can't afford to patent it right now, don't let it hold you back. Otherwise, you too will go to an early grave poor. Poor, terrible word. What you discussed and move on from there. Exercise number 5. Stop struggling. Learn to inspire. Learn to inspire yourself. Learn to talk about things in a very positive language so that you understand. And this is not a rah-rah, we stand on the chairs, we hug each other, we shout, we sing Kumbaya, and then we all go home. It's not that kind of thing. It's the ability to make yourself understand and believe what's going on. You can use a simple worksheet. It's there in the book. Use the worksheet. Learn to motivate your pitch. Send it through. Take a big foolscap piece of paper. On the top, right there, who I am. I am Mike Sade from Brand Strategy. What do I do? I offer marketing and strategic assistance through to them. Who are my customers? Small businesses, large business, whatever it is. Write it down. Keep it there. What are my products? Some of these you've already got from your vision in the beginning. Keep going. What are the reasons? Now we start getting to the nitty-gritty. Why should people buy your product? So write down all the reasons, and then finally write down the value that you believe customers are going to get from you. And it's only customers that have the ability to explain this and express this and to remind themselves of it, and then to go back once a month or once in 6 months or once a year and rewrite it if things have changed. The whole market has changed. I'm listening to John Robbie on the radio this morning. He says to me that when my 8-year-old daughter is ready to leave school, 60% of the jobs that are available to her at that stage won't have been invented. Some of you are offering services that 5 years ago people would have said, is anyone here a social media consultant? I mean, that's it. Whoever thought of being a social media consultant? That means you do people's Facebook for them. Scary, eh? No, but there are people doing it, I promise. So that's it. Exercise number 5. Number 6. Do a reality check. Understand that along the way, whatever your vision is, whatever your idea is, even your little business, you have got problems. You need to be able to identify them really early so that you can do something about them. It's absolutely no use. I've been to many strategy sessions for big companies where I'm invited in just as an outsider to give them an opinion. And 3/4 of the way through, the boss will turn to me and say to me, so what do you think? And I say, I'm really worried that I haven't heard one thing today that makes me believe we're not going to be having this exact same meeting 1 year from now. So it's okay if you're sitting there with problems at the moment. That's perfect. When we meet again next November in this thing, you just must have different problems, not the same problems. You must be here because now you have got a cash flow problem. You're here because Bidvest wants to buy your business for 50 million rand and you're not sure whether that's enough money. And that's why you've come to chat to Thane. Just make sure your problem is something different. So your reality check. Reaffirm your commitment. Create a strategy to make things work. Here's the exercise. It's quite simple. Learn to write an honest assessment of where you are. If you've got problems with where you are, you need to change them. And in order to change them, you need to know what they are. You've got to take your hats off to Nedbank when they do something like Ask Once. Even if they've got teething problems or they're not able to satisfy everyone, Ask Once is this kind of exercise. They're saying to you, tell us when we've got a problem, we will do something about it. So write down the date, write down your challenge, for example, insufficient capital or vision or whatever it is, and then write down the action you're going to take, and preferably write down a date by which you're going to achieve it. Once you start doing these little things, you will notice a sudden change in your business, a sudden change in how quickly you can get things done. Anybody use a to-do list, 10 items on a list, put them in order, cross off the ones you... In the corporate world, they taught me that on my first day at work. By day 2, I'd already forgotten it. It didn't work for me. But then I discovered years later something much better than a to-do list. I call it my not to-do list. What I do is I found 3 things that are killing my business. I'm a procrastinator. I don't send out invoices in time, and I probably spend too much time playing solitaire. And I worked out if I could just change those 3 things and stop doing them. And you know what your 3 challenges are. You know exactly. No, I'm not going to say forget about your to-do list. Write down the 3 things you need to change in your business. Maybe it's giving staff loans. Maybe it's not doing things. Do them. Write this down. That's workbook. That's exercise number 6. We can move from there. This quote, strategy without tactics is the slowest route to victory. Tactics without strategy is the noise before defeat. You can't just talk about it. You actually have to do it. But there's this funny thing about strategy. You need to be very, very careful about strategy. I am about 5'8". I can strategize till I'm blue in the face about playing basketball for the NBA. It ain't going to happen. So please make sure whatever it is that you've set, whatever target, whatever strategy you've got, you can get it right. Then you can get the right people in place.